Hello and welcome back to the channel. So I'm currently at a place called Lynford Arboretum because I was down here the other day with my wife and dog Wilson, and we spotted Hobbies catching dragonflies at one of the kind of like mini lakes down here, and we also spotted a kingfisher. So what I've done is packed up my bag full of all my stuff. I've also got a little portable chair, and I'm basically just gonna take a little walk down to here and see what I can get today. Now, I've been quite successful with photographing hobbies at RSPB Lakenheath, but I'm getting a little bit tiresome of that particular location, and it is very hit and miss there. So I thought I'd try it somewhere new. Now, it's a little bit of a walk, but I'm quite happy that I managed to park the van and I've cut out at least half of the journey that we did the other day with the dog. So yeah, it's quite a nice scenic route. Let's get to the location and we'll get set up. While we're heading to the location, I'll just chat about yesterday. So I was at RSPB Lakenheath and I actually met Ryan Dinage, who's a fellow wildlife photographer here on YouTube. And yeah, he's a really nice bloke, exactly like he is in the videos. Way more positive than I am, and just a really friendly chap. So yeah, it was really good to meet up with him. Not a great day's photography, but I managed at the end, walking through the reserve, to get a shot of a hobby that flew just overhead me, and also managed to get a muntjac family. So yeah, we're just almost at the location now. There's a lot of dog walkers about, so this whole public vlogging thing might backfire on me a little bit. But yeah, we're almost there now, so let's go. Okay, so we're here. Just over there is a stick where I managed to photograph some ducks the other day. And yeah, the plan is the sun is going to basically be over to the left, and I want to be on this kind of bank here facing outwards, so I've got a good amount of light. There's not too many dragonflies on the water at the moment. It's a pretty warm day already, so hopefully there'll be plenty of dragonflies out on that water. Yeah, if there is, then hopefully the hobbies come down, and this is a perfect, almost like little amphitheatre for me to witness that. So yeah, let's get set up. I have made a horrid little miscalculation with the light. So I was here last 2 days ago and I forgot it was of an evening. So the sun was out behind me and it is 9:32 in the morning. So it's quite high and over to my right, which means that if I go over there, I'm basically shooting into harsh contrasty light, which isn't ideal. This looks like more of an evening location. So I'm gonna stay put, take a seat down here with the sun behind me. I haven't got a good view of the lake. It's okay, it's not the best. That is the best location, but the lighting's not great. Right, let's sit down and relax with this beautiful view. All right, seat, little tiny seat. Gonna go with the 200mm F2.8 with the 1.4 teleconverter. And worst case, if the light's really good and the subjects are far away, we'll switch to the 100 to 400. But yeah, let's keep the noise down and chill. About half hour's gone by and I've seen nothing other than several dog walkers. There's a lot of noise going on in the background. I think we're quite close to West Toft's camp, and yeah, that's where I did some of my Afghan training, and I would wager that the Ukrainians are getting trained there at the moment. So it's, yeah, quite hilarious. If I go back many years and I was getting absolutely thrashed on the training area, I never thought that I would end up where I'm at right this second. Never in a million years thought that. So yeah, it's funny how life can change. I'd much rather be doing this than what they're doing. about an hour and a half has gone by, and apart from fighter jets circling overhead, the odd dog walker, it has been completely dead on this little lake. Several people commented that there's usually swans and ducks at least, but apart from the azure damselflies and a few other bugs and some fish in the water, absolutely dead. The sun is gradually working its way around, but unfortunately where I'm sat right now, it is burning down on my back. And well, me and Ryan got pretty dehydrated yesterday at Lakenheath because I'm wearing trousers to stop myself from getting tick bites, because no one needs that. I'm also wearing boots, and the weather's gone from say 18 degrees to 26 in the space of a day. So yeah, what I'm going to do now, the perk is that I can walk down this trail along a little kind of brook, or I can head off into the woods, and I'm going to do both just to get out of the sun for now. So let's go. I followed the small river down, and we've come to a little dam and a fence, and the fence has been placed there to stop erosion while the dam sort of establishes itself. So yeah, it was absolute prime kingfisher territory along that river, but I think it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I'm going to head back up the river, back to the lake where I was at, and head into the woods. Hopefully there'll be squirrels and jays, stuff like that. It is 11:30 and the sun is working its way around quite nicely. If you just look behind me, this was the intended angle that I wanted to shoot, and the sun is now off over there. So it won't be too much longer where I'll be able to post up here and I'll have really good lighting in front of me. But right now it's a bit too hot to be going firm when there's nothing but dragonflies all over the lake. So just ahead of me is a woods, and I'm just going to take a slow walk through there, keep cool, and then head back to the lake a little bit later on. So I completely lost my bearings. That wasn't the woods that I intended, but look at these trees behind me. Look at these. They're absolutely huge. There is a trail just up ahead, so I'm gonna follow that and hope for some success. But to be fair, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I've been putting massive amounts of pressure to try and deliver with the 200mm lens, and the thing is, I've got some really good shots, and at the end of the day, if the wildlife's not going to play the game, there's nothing you can do about it. I can stress out all I like, but I'm not fortunate enough to be placed in exotic locations, and I can only do what I can do. So I need to relieve the pressure, stop stressing out as much, and just enjoy this beautiful day. Because in England, you never know how many of them you're going to get. No jokes now. I came out of the woods, was pretty unsuccessful in there, just grabbed a shot of some flowers, don't know what they are, I'm not a botanist. Sat down on a bench just behind me to have some lunch, and looked up, saw a hobby flying about. Then, and I'm not making this up, I heard the kingfisher and then saw it fly off back down the river. So it's now literally 12:03. And I think it's, hopefully the action will start kicking off now. So I've placed myself, not ideal, the sun is off to my right, but it's going to move behind me. And yeah, we'll just see what we can do. About 15 minutes has passed since I saw the hobby and the kingfisher. And what I've decided to do is put the G9M2 in mechanical shutter mode. So that will limit me to about, I think it's about 12, 13 FPS, something like that. But the idea behind it is that I'll be able to enable dynamic range boost. I think it's only available in the mechanical shutter, and it's all really technical, but it kind of uses a high ISO and a low ISO, combines the two to give you the best dynamic range, something like that. But I'm definitely going to use it in this scenario because hobbies are quite dark little birds, and I don't want to, because they're so fast flying, I don't want to underexpose, I don't want to overexpose. I want to get like the max amount of dynamic range. So potentially if they're quite dark, I'll be able to bring up those shadows without a huge sort of noise penalty. So I'm hoping that will work. I've also put the G9M2 in the 4K 420 120 FPS mode because he has been tantalisingly far away in the distance. But if he does come, not within range of photos, I can hopefully at least grab some sort of slow motion, because it will need to be slow motion, they're so fast. It's just watching, waiting, hoping, and let's hope the 200 with the teleconverter doesn't let me down and doesn't lock onto something other than the Hobby or the Kingfisher, which is what I'm scared it might do. I could switch to the 100 to 400, but the clouds keep coming over and I want the best image that I can get. And obviously I want to test this lens as well. The time is now 12:56 and I've had a buzzard fly over, and I was starting to lose hope with the Hobby when he started swooping down. It's really unexpected, couldn't get him into the frame, and then I just moved location because the sun's actually gotten back in behind the clouds. I don't really need the cover. I wanted as wide of an arc, so I've got a nice wide arc now. And he made his way around again, and I managed to get some shots of him. He perched up on a tree branch at one point, so I think I've got something quite usable there. So now it's just a case of watching, waiting, hoping he comes out. The Kingfisher's just far too elusive. Unless he does some close by hovering, I don't think that's going to happen today. But yeah, so far, really, really good. It's good to do it at a location that's different. I've been photographing hobbies at Lakenheath for far too long now. This has got a different kind of look to it, but unfortunately, or it's fortunate but unfortunate, there's cloud covers just come over now, so I'm losing light, but I'm not going to have such harsh... He's back, I've got to go. So the time is almost 2 o'clock and the Hobby has not been back. I got a little bit bored and got some pre-burst shots of a dragonfly, which is really cool because the little bit of grass that it was on was bobbing up and down in the wind, and it was a tough job to keep him focused. But yeah, I managed to get it. I'm just going to wait for the Hobby to show up again. And yeah, that's all I can do really, but I am running low on water. I'm genuinely not making this up. So no sooner than I just spoke to you last, some horses just came past, disturbed the Kingfisher, who then flew off. I just took a burst. I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. I think I'll at least post the picture up because it's quite cool. And then I could hear something rustling net down by me, and a water vole literally just made its way in front of me. Impossible, like close focus and distance, it was by my foot, so there was no chance of getting a shot. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Tons of things going on, just not necessarily getting what I hoped for photographically, but I shouldn't expect too much. Now, I'm not saying that I would have captured the moment, but the Hobby came ridiculously close, and guess what I was doing? Changing the battery on the camera because it had just gone down to 1 bar, so I thought I'll change the battery. I'm not saying I would have got the shot, but it's an ongoing theme. Yesterday I missed a shot of a bittern at Mearhide because I was putting on the teleconverter and it took off. So yeah, basically don't change battery. Oh, there he is, I've got to go. I have decided to take off the 1.4 times teleconverter. The light keeps going in and out. Annoyingly, I've taken the teleconverter off and now it's really, really bright, as you can see. That's just the curse of being me. But the idea is that I'm gonna raise up the shutter speed and hopefully get quicker autofocus by taking that teleconverter off. Hopefully he'll come really close and I'll just be able to nail him with the 200. Like I said, full frame equivalent of 400mm. Probably not enough focal length, but it's gonna be even sharper than having the teleconverter on. And yeah, it's just go bold or go home, or whatever the saying is. Because at the end of the day, I've got the shots that they're not the best. I wouldn't say that they're my dream shots of Hobbies. I think the environmental one of him in the tree is quite nice. But yeah, might as well go bold. So let's do it. I was about to say there's been no further sightings of the Hobby, but he's just appeared. Done a quick dive, missed it. It was just over too quickly. And one awesome thing about being on YouTube is stuff like my DJI Pocket. I lost the wide angle lens attachment in Texas, so I paid £40 for a new one. And then the magnet, one of the magnets, because it's got two magnets on it, that's actually decided to break off, so it's not being held on properly. So I can choose to pay £40 or just never use the wide angle lens attachment again. And I think the fact that it's already cost me £40, I'm probably gonna go with that option. We've also got rain forecast in the next hour. So, I mean, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out for another hour and yeah, just hope for the best. The Pocket's about to run out of battery, so I don't know where we'll end the video, but hopefully we'll end it on a positive note, because it's been nice to get out today, but it's not quite been what I hoped. But that's the problem with wildlife photography, having hopes and expectations, and they're never quite ever gonna match that, especially out in the wild. Let's keep trying. Oh, it is good to see you, Van. It is good to see you. Well, it's definitely good to be back in the van. I think that was about 6 or more hours trying to get the Hobby and the Kingfisher and such, and I beat myself up a little bit again. I really shouldn't do it, but the thing is, I persist where others would probably have given up hours ago. I put so much effort in. I'm always trying and striving to do the best that I can, and the fact is that sometimes that's just not good enough. The fact is that it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. Occasionally, just buying 15 grand's worth of lenses and cameras and going and sitting in a paid hide is definitely the way to do things. I certainly make life a bit harder than I need to sometimes. But yeah, all in all, a great day. I mean, just at a count, I saw squirrels, kingfishers, moorhens, hobbies, buzzards, robins. So yeah, I mean, I definitely can't. I even saw a jay on the way back to the van, so I definitely can't complain. I just, when you've got a YouTube channel that's not doing so well nowadays, and I think that's a recurring theme that I've heard from everyone at the moment, ads are ridiculous on YouTube. Ad revenue is non-existent for my channel, so trying to get videos that are actually going to get engagement and people to like them and to comment and actually, you know, help the channel expand is really, really difficult to do. So, you know, me putting all of that effort in and not always necessarily getting the best results does frustrate me. But I mean, isn't that life? At the end of the day, I'm an adult. Life isn't fair. So, but yes, if you've liked this video, please hit it with a like. It really does help the channel move forward and grow. Please leave your comments if you've got any comments or questions. That would be great. I always get back to everyone. And yes, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Most of my video views come from people that aren't subscribed, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. I'd like for all my subscribers to watch my videos, but hey ho. And yes, if let's say if you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. Take care.